So these are the hinge bolts off of our 67 GTO, and they are hard to come by. Found them on eBay. They wanted like 30 bucks plus 50 bucks shipping, which is ridiculous. So we have a hardware store, Well Import Home Hardware, down the road that has these. They were in a bin, and they are a Robertson bit instead of a Phillips bit, but they're 5/16 coarse thread, so they'll thread right in. Now the head's just a tiny bit smaller, but it'll be fine. I can just cut the threads down a bit, and I won't have a lock washer like this one. But I only needed 3 of them. There was 4 in there. One had a red rubber, the other 3 were black. So we'll throw that odd one out just for a spare. But that's quite a score, because now I can line up the door 100% and not share the bolts. So we're getting closer to having to do it meticulously well, so that I can get the doors on right, and then I think I'll put the trunk in and then send it out to get the quarter panels done. And I'll get the car back, and then I'll do the rocker panels, and then I will take the car off and put it on the rotisserie. So here we go. I primed the epoxy primed the hoods and the doors and the trunk lid, and then put a 3K high fill primer on it. This one door skin needs a lot of work because it's got a bunch of dents in it, and you can see the dents. I'm gonna let the body shop worry about that. The hood turned out really nice. One little dent right there you can see, and they really start to show up once it's got some primer on it. Overall, turned out good. I'm gonna pop them back on again. I did this because the body shop wasn't ready for the quarters yet. I had to do a little bit more welding on the car. I'll show you. So I had to weld this piece in and bend the funny corner here. So the reason I did this section first is because I didn't know that this section was rotten, but I would have done it that way anyway, because I would have met this plate up to the original here. Then I know that my seam is perfect the way it curls, because it curls a little bit, and then this actually curls in a little bit. It's hard to see because I'm kind of leaning over here, but I had to stretch this part on the stretcher and to get this little curve around, and then spot weld it all the way around, and then from here I can weld it solid. And they'll have to put a little bit of filler over top to cover that up, but you'll never know that that was replaced by the time I'm done. I gotta be a little creative, gotta put your own bend in there. They don't make these pieces, so you gotta do it yourself. So yeah, I enjoy doing this stuff, so here we go. So up on the inside there, kind of messy because nobody's ever gonna see it, but somebody who does know is gonna stick their hand in there and feel for rivets to see whether there's Bondo in there or if it's done right. So I did grind the welds back a little bit and then covered it with a seam sealer, and then I'll paint it to protect that as long as I possibly can. But that's the way to do it anyway. Nice butt weld, and it actually looks really nice from the outside here. Have to put a little skim coat of Bondo on there, unfortunately, but that is the way it goes. Right to the end is all new, so yeah. That's the first time the GTO has been outside in a year and a half for my shop. Starting to look like something, but we do have a long way to go. It's on the way to body shop to get the quarter panels put in, and then I should have it back hopefully by the end of the week. So pretty excited, here we go. Ooh, I can still smell the paint. There she is. That looks a whole lot better. Nice. So I painted this door skin in case the body shop was able to fix it. It's just too far gone, so I'm going to replace the skin. We're going to make a separate standalone video for that. If you want to see how to replace the door skin, just click here and you can find out how to do that. We're going to keep going with this project as it is. Once I have the bottom sill folded over, I put it on the car and I check my gaps here, and you can see that it's sticking out quite a ways. So definitely don't weld that, because I can squeeze that over, and if I push nice and hard right there, I can make that gap much better. So I'm gonna put a self-tap in there where the hole is and just leave it there until I'm ready to block the car, because I can still tweak it and twist it here and there. Basically the gap needs to be, it's not terrible, it's a little bit bigger at the top, and that's always the problem I've had with this quarter. Not sure what we'll do here. I might have to make a little slice just from about here down and then re-weld that corner. I take the striker out. You do want the door to close without the striker and have it sit where your gaps are proper, and then the striker just helps. But you shouldn't rely on your striker to lift up or down on the door to make it fit where it's supposed to go. So I'm really happy with where that door sits as is. We're gonna sandblast the inside on Thursday. Here we go. The shop's kind of messy, but it's pretty well empty. That's because the yard is full. Got my buddy Brian. He's sandblasting away. We're gonna do the Fleet Master on the rotisserie. We're gonna do the Studebaker crew cab truck frame right now. The frame of the Studebaker, the toolboxes, and the GTO. I got my door gaps exactly where I want them. These bottoms look really good as they are. The back axle never went in the molasses tank, and just a couple little small rust spots showing up in the corner. So we'll just hit them with the sandblaster again, and I'm gonna start getting ready to paint the frame and put the frame together. So this is getting exciting. It's starting to look like a car. So I'm gonna pull the body off and roll it to the sandblaster. Kind of rushing because he's almost done. So here we go. For space in shop today. We got the frame back out of the booth there and ready to be assembled, but I have to paint all my sandblasted front parts yet. I knocked out all of my ball joints and the bushings, so that we got all new of those. So we got a nice tight front end, all new tie rod ends, so the front's good to go. Got some rotors coming, or no, I don't have rotors coming. Apparently the rotors for the 4-piston GTO are very hard to come by, so I'm gonna see if we can machine the other ones. The car is as high as it's getting a little, hopefully it's not afraid of heights, but nothing can be outside right now because it's raining and everything's sandblasted from yesterday still. It didn't get painted as much as I'd like, but it was a busy day. So yeah, here we go. We're gonna hang all the parts up inside along with some Fleet Master parts that are going black. I got a couple small touch-up spots here and there, but I just hit that with a wire wheel, and then away we go. So these are the front calipers off our GTO. Because it is a true 242 car, it's got the 4-piston calipers, which are hard to come by and expensive. We do have a rebuild kit for it, but I want to paint them as well. So what I want to do is open them up, make sure that the bores are worth rebuilding. If they are, I'm gonna take all the brake fluid out, clean it, but then I'm gonna pop the old pistons back in again. That way I can paint it without having to tape it off, and then open it up again after it's painted. I pop the new pistons in, and then they're good as gold. We're having trouble getting some rotors here. All my suppliers say we can get you the rotors except for 4-piston calipers. So you can just blow into your flex line or your brake line, pop a couple of the pistons out. Makes it a little easier. Now I only have to pull 2 out. That's all the piston is an outside ring, and then this ring. You can see this ring wants to go to the top. As you push on your brake, that O-ring tips, and that's what pulls the piston back again. So when your brakes are wore, it overextends, and it can't find that spot to pull it back again, and that's when your caliper sees, and you start smoking brakes. So very simple, but there's not a whole lot to taking your putting your brakes in. So you can see the bore, it's a little dirty, but it's shiny. Probably hasn't been pressed on in a few years, half a dozen or so, hard anyway. I just stick these in a vise and then pull up on it. When you pull on it evenly, they come out not too bad. They still take a little bit of force, but if you just pull pliers on one side, you just tip it and it doesn't come out. So we got a lot of crud in there, so we'll clean that all out. And then we can paint it. It is worth rebuilding, and then she'll be good as new. Here we go. Okay, I have to apologize. There's some footage missing. Yesterday was a busy day. It ended up with the guys coming out for Truth for Teens, where we work with some at-risk youth just working on cars. And I gave them the option of working on a 48 Fleetmaster, painting the engine, or working on the GTO. They chose the GTO. Basically what we did yesterday is push all new bushings into the A-arms, the upper and lower control arms, and we put all new tie rod ends on, new idler arm. Basically the only thing still original is the center link. Put new coils, springs in, and new shocks and ball joints, and turned the brakes, and just about ready to throw the calipers on. Pretty straightforward. I got to put the back axle on so that I can get this thing mobile, so I can get the dually frame back and painted, and then I can put the GTO frame or the body down on that temporary frame that I made, and then do a little bit more welding on it. But just so I can use the forklift, put the engine and transmission, everything back in here, get the exhaust and everything hung, and then this will probably go in the house garage for a bit until we get more on the body done. Tahoe will have to find a nice home outside. So the engine's done, the frame is done. We got a little bit more metal work to do on the body, but next we are gonna rebuild the Turbo 400 that's in it. And after that, we'll start assembling the car back together again. I think that might be the last time. Oh, that's pretty sweet.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you love the channel, consider picking up a tape boss to make those projects go faster so you got more time to watch YouTube. And remember, if you're not filthy, you're not rich.